What's up, beautiful people? Today we're going to be checking out Putin's speech at the Congress of the United Russia Political Party. Let's get to it.
Thanks a lot.
Спасибо.
Dear friends, colleagues, today everyone has a colossal responsibility. Without any exaggeration, we are facing historical challenges. Their scale requires the unification of efforts and the unity of all patriotic forces. For the United Russia Party, for our supporters who represent our entire multinational society, all regions, social and professional groups, this first of all means a readiness for hard work, a readiness to move forward and achieve more. Together with all the people of Russia, defend the sovereignty, freedom, security of Russia, everything that is dear to us. This is our history, culture, values and traditions. Strengthen the economy, social sphere, scientific and technological potential in the interests of people, for the well-being of millions of Russian families, and of course, work for the consolidation of society. What do I want to emphasize? Competition, diversity of ideas, opinions, open and honest discussion of problems and ways to solve them, of course, are the key to the dynamic development of our country. Without this there will be no development at all, but always, despite all the differences in views, all responsible political forces must remember what is most important for us. This is the fate and interests of Russia, the happiness, hopes, dreams of our children, the right of our country to be strong. I would also add, the right and vital necessity of our country to be strong. This means that everything that is secondary, superfluous, that which separates us, must be thrown aside. And of course, we must and will make all decisions only ourselves, without other people's tips from abroad.
I understand what he's talking about or who he's referring to. Let me know if you do. But he's been pretty solid saying we are our own people and we're going to decide what democracy is to us and what our values reflect. So yeah, we know.
Russia, like some countries, cannot give up its sovereignty in exchange for sausage and become someone's satellite. We must remember and never forget, and teach our children, Russia will either be a sovereign, self-sufficient power, or it will not exist at all. This is a very important thing. That should always be in our minds and hearts. Therefore, of course, we ourselves will determine and create our future. This is the sovereign state worldview. This is the basis for genuine civil consolidation. For joint work, I am confident that United Russia will continue to offer society precisely such a unifying, creative agenda. Respond to the most pressing issues in the life of our country. In this regard, I note that many laws aimed at supporting participants in a special military operation and their families were developed precisely on the initiative of United Russia. At the same time, deputies of all factions of the State Duma voted for them unanimously. And although I am now at the Congress of the United Russia Party, nevertheless, I want to thank them for this position. By the way, what is happening in Parliament is to a large extent the result of such consolidated work of United Russia in the State Duma. This was also said at a meeting with faction leaders. I ask you to continue to actively and partnerly interact with other political parties and public associations in solving the most important problems for us. What would I like to highlight? Having unleashed real aggression against us, it grew in intensity, year after year. The elites of the West hope not only to bring down the economy and social sphere of Russia, but also our political and state system. They believed and still believe that they will be able to sow internal turmoil among us. The methods for such destabilization are well known, and they have been tested more than once by Western elites in many regions of the world during the so-called color coups. But such recipes did not work, and I am sure they will not work in relation to Russia, a free, independent and sovereign state, our society.
The question would be, is Russia a sovereign state because of Putin's effort? So why I'm asking this question is, I heard the election is going to happen this year, I think. No, next year. First quarter of next year. So if Putin is not in power, do you think the sovereignty he's talking about is going to hold? Or is the sovereignty right now because of Putin? Let me know what you think about that.
All branches of government and levels of government have shown maturity, strength and stability. We responded to the challenges because consistently, step by step, year after year, we followed the path of strengthening sovereignty, including in the political and public sphere, in the economy, in education and in culture. We developed Russian federalism, our legislation and strong constitutional foundations. We relied on the centuries-old experience of our statehood, on our values and on the unique traditions of the harmonious development of different ethnic groups, cultures, languages, and religions. In this regard, I will emphasize again, attempts to violate interethnic, interreligious, civil harmony are a betrayal and a crime against Russia. It is the people of Russia who have been and will be the only source of power. We will protect their sovereign right to choose their future from any external interference. The Russian state will be sovereign and therefore truly national. We will have to continue to improve democratic institutions, mechanisms of democracy and local self-government, direct participation of citizens in the development of the country, regions and municipalities, and of course, our most important task is to increase the efficiency of all levels of public authority. And here, too, we have painstaking work ahead of us, including legislative work in the federal and regional parliaments, the widespread use of best management practices, and, of course, strengthening human resources. Now we are implementing a whole line of projects, initiatives, competitions so that talented, competent, motivated people can discover, express and realize themselves, and benefit the country. Such work with public opinion leaders, with professionals who achieve success in various industries, with volunteers, and, of course, with our heroes, with veterans of a special military operation, should be the most important for united Russia. Many of our comrades, party members, its supporters, deputies of various levels passed through the front, and they are now fighting on the front line. Let's support them. What do I want to point out here? You know that I regularly communicate with our guys, with our fighters, with commanders, and they told me more than once that in the same platoon, in the same squad, in the same trench there are often people of different nationalities and religions together, but they are all united by a real military brotherhood, the will to win, the willingness to do everything to protect Russia. And it is the only one we have. I also know that united Russia, in close partnership with our other parties and public associations, is actively involved in the development of the volunteer movement. Thousands of United Russia volunteers help soldiers, the front, and civilians in our liberated cities and towns. I will repeat that we have many such determined, brave people who served at the front, who showed themselves in the volunteer movement, in work in our liberated, historical lands of Donbas and Novorossiya. We also have many specialists from various fields, from various professions, who have shown in practice what loyalty to duty in one's country means during difficult times.
This is one
These are
thing
doctors.
I believe Russia has a lot more than other nations. They really honor their veterans. Like, I've seen interviews, I've never been in Russia before, but I've seen interviews, I've seen videos, and the way it looks like they honor the veterans, even build statues for them, have days of celebration. See the day this man passed, what is his name? The leader of the Wagner group. People were literally taking flowers and crying and all of those things. Like, people were really concerned. But in other nations, barely do you even hear or do you even know that there was a certain leader or military leader that passed. So yeah, I like the way they honor their veterans because their job is difficult. The least they can get from the people is support and love.
Teachers, scientists and entrepreneurs, workers, engineers of defense and other industrial enterprises, farmers and agricultural workers. Such people are truly our asset. This is a support for our country. With their example and their achievements, they literally inspire those around them. They create a feeling of unity and confidence. Pride in our contemporaries. Pride in Russia. I hope that during elections at different levels, it is precisely such people, are like-minded people, who will become the main candidates of United Russia. And they will receive its support, and for the party itself, of course, this will mean further qualitative development, strengthening ties with society. Let me remind you that the program with which the party went to the parliamentary elections in 2021 was called the People's Program. Therefore, its implementation should be designed specifically for millions of people, for millions of citizens of our country, and, as we agreed, this document must constantly develop. And this is actually happening. This document is filled with new ideas, projects, taking into account both already resolved issues and unsolved problems. Thus, the People's Program has already reflected the key directions of the socio-economic revival of the Donetsk and Lugansk People's Republics, Zaporozhye and Kherson regions. I hope that United Russia will take an active part in the projects of the Year of the Family, which has been announced in our country, in dialogue with society, with people. It will offer new initiatives aimed at supporting motherhood and childhood, strengthening our traditional and family values, and developing a system of education and mentoring. And these are all extremely important. These are fundamental issues for the demographic development of Russia, for the preservation of our people. You know what's happening on earth. You yourself work, as we say in such cases, on the ground, in the field, and you understand well that there are still a lot of tasks and unresolved problems. Well, this is a known thing. As soon as you take a step forward and solve some problem, several new problems immediately appear. And this is normal. There is no need to say that we did this, but people are unhappy with something, or they want something else. So it was, and so it will always be. You need to prepare yourself for the fact that tasks grow like a snowball. But we are Russia. We are a winter country. We love snow. Look how much snow
Maybe
we
a
had.
little too much. A little too much.
I ask you to keep all this in mind. It is by responding to people's requests, to the issues that concern them, that it is imperative to include in the election program such areas as the development of primary healthcare, the construction and renovation of mass sports infrastructure, and so on. I want to emphasize that, of course, we will determine these and other tasks and plans for the future in general, together with Russian citizens. We will formulate a development strategy for the long term, and I will repeat once again that we will do this, first of all, based on the opinions and requests of people. And I would like to say once again that now every decision we make, every word and deed we do has a special value and has a special meaning for our country. Time demands from us firmness and unity, the readiness to respond to any, even the most difficult, challenges. I am confident that United Russia and all our supporters will continue to work with full dedication for results, for the people, to achieve national goals. I look forward to further joint work with you in the interests of our united country, our great people. I thank you for your support. Thanks a lot.
Ooh, standing ovation. Okay. That was a good speech, though. A lot was touched, though. Yeah, I like it. The speculations we get here is Russia is forcing people to follow him or to serve him. It doesn't look like that was the case. It seemed the people actually liked what he said. Let me know what you think about that speech. I feel like it was a valid one to give in the setting. But if there's something you disagree with and you want to share, you want to talk about, feel free to let me know. Have a wonderful day. Peace.